Today, I'm finally ready to share with you one of the best possible Crystal Arena builds in the game. For those that don't know, you go to Arena, and then you can go to Crystal Arena, and please ignore my rank. I don't play Arena much on this Swole Benji character. This is my YouTube character. I have a very high rank character, and I'm finally going to disclose the build because I'm kind of done with Arenas. So I'm releasing it to the public. This is the best possible build as a solo queue that will help your team immensely for DPS. And it is an anti-healing, damage over time, tanky build. This is a carrion caller build. This is by far the best build for Crystal Arena that you can possibly use. Now that I've made this video, it will probably be nerfed. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the build real quick. And there we go. So this is the anti-healer Crystal Arena build. This is not just for killing healers. This is for denying healing completely on any target, meaning they will 100% always be killed and never be saved. Okay, so your weapon is the Carrion Caller, which is an axe weapon. You're going to use the third Q, Rending Rage. This allows you to max out your stacks of bleed, which will reduce healing received by 12% for 5 seconds. You need at least a tier 5 Carrion Caller to have this Q ability. Next up, your W spell is Battle Rush. This will reduce healing by 20% for 3 seconds. So let's show off these two abilities first off. The Q spell lets you hit 3 times, and now you're max stacked on your target, therefore they have reduced healing. Your W spell has a very large range and an area of effect, so you can dash in and then debuff people for even more healing. And then finally, the Carrion Caller, its specialty, its E spell, the Morgana Raven, is reducing healing by another 30%, but this also deals range damage and damage over time. It's super good. So not only are they bleeding for damage over time, your E spell is hitting them for damage over time, and all of your spells are reducing damage. So this is the range. It's pretty far, and this is what it looks like when you cast it. There you go. Now I missed the third one there, but you can see that they're now bleeding over time, which target dummies don't know how they bleed. Anyway, let's get into the rest of the build. Also, for your passive, just use Deep Cuts. It deals more damage. You're going to be you're just running into the thick of things and attacking people and stabbing them. All right. Now, another thing, too, is your armor, Hellion Jacket, using Lifesteal Aura. This is countered by a Mage Robe, but if someone's wearing Mage Robe in Arena, they die. Okay, you can kill them. You can 1v1 pretty much anyone with a Mage Robe, except maybe Fire Staffs. But the point is, this is going to keep you alive. It's going to deal damage. This combos with your roast pork, which is a lifesteal food, and you just use the passive Balance Mind. This will keep you alive. This will heal you and deal damage. Scholar's Cowl will not only keep you alive with it's a low cooldown defensive, it gives you your energy back, which allows you to spam your abilities. You're going to be constantly spamming your abilities, and it's just use the aggression passive for more damage and whatnot. Thetford Cape is what I prefer to use. You can really use any cape, but Thetford Cape is just more damaging because you're going to be constantly in the thick of things and auto-attacking. This is the highest DPS cape you can wear. And then Cultist Sandals, this is mandatory. This is really cool because it lowers the damage resistance of everyone you run around, but also it reduces healing by 20%. In total, you will reduce healing by 82%. You don't normally need that much to kill your targets, but if someone's just getting massively healed hard, and you hit them with all your anti-healing abilities, they're going down. There's no saving them. Use the aggression passive. Finally, for potion, you can just use a minor resistance potion. This just increases your defense by 33%, which is huge. 33% damage reduction. It also makes it harder to crowd control you, so you can spam your abilities more often. You won't be knocked up too much. And this build, if you play this build, you're going to absolutely just crush and kill arenas. This is, again, like I said, by far the best weapon for Crystal Arenas, the best build for Crystal Arenas. So let's see it in action now. First off, this build does have chase potential, so if someone's trying to like backcap one of the towers, you can absolutely stick and cling to them, and also because you're doing a bleed and a damage over time, they can't simply just run away and recover, and if they have some sort of self-recovery, then you're going to nullify it with your abilities anyway. So generally, the way you play this build is you find who has the lowest health bar, and you just dump everything you can to nullify as much healing as possible, because by instinct, the healer, unless they're very high ranked and very good at the game, they're going to always be healing the lowest HP targets just by default. So if you see someone that's starting to get low HP compared to anyone else in a big fight, just stick to them, apply as many healing debuffs as possible, and they will eventually go down as long as your team isn't bots or people trying out builds, because sometimes people do arenas to just test out silly builds. Like, I was in an arena with a repeating bow, or a repeating crossbow, which is a dead weapon in arena. Now, if you're not engaged in any big fights, you don't really have a reason to be attacking the enemy blindly. Wait for the big fights to happen to nullify healing. In the meantime, go back cap some points, and that's how you'll win faster. Sometimes you'll fight a 2v1 or 2v2, including the enemy's healer, and what you want to do is try to get the healing debuff on both of them, and you may not be able to kill, like in a 2v2 situation, you may not be able to kill the target that you're applying all the healing debuffs to, but what you're doing is you're killing the effectiveness of the heals of the target being healed, so it's going to force them to retreat back to their base or just back to the big blob. Now, if you've got them spawn camped, this weapon is actually pretty good. It's got a lot of reach. It can hold players in place when they pop their head out to try to poke at your team, so it's really, really good for spawn camping. You can also launch your E-spell and hit wounded targets, which causes damage over time. If they're not getting a shield from the base, then they're going to tick down and possibly die from it. And then also, for spawn camping, you're applying healing debuffs to the people that are brave enough to leave spawn, and the healer will sit there in their safe zone trying to heal the target, and if your team isn't bots or people testing out builds, if they're actual real DPS builds, that target will die, they will go down, and the spawn camping will continue, which makes your wins even faster, and you will rank up so fast. Now, I want you to pay attention to this clip here. I'm engaging a 2v3 with our healer on the top, so it's now a 3v3. Their health is going down, ours isn't, and the reason for that is simply because they can't heal. Even self-healing, like if they have a Hellion Jacket or any kind of lifesteal, I'm nullifying most of that. Now, this guy does manage to get away, but like I said earlier, this build excels at spawn camping, so the second he drops his shield, cast that E, and down he goes. So if you're engaging and everyone's at full HP, the target that you should prioritize is the healer or other cloth users, because their health will drop first and they will be prioritized first, usually by your team if they're smart enough. But at the same time, try to line up your opponents so that you can hit as many as possible with your E and W, and of course if you have your boots, just run all over everyone. That's going to weaken them. Now, you'll see here that I disengaged from that guy, and the reason why is because my team had the kill. I don't need to get greedy on the kill board, and that guy was too far away from his healer to receive heals, so I have, like, my job is to debuff people so they can't receive heals. Like this guy, he's in range of his healer could not keep him alive no matter what with their cooldowns, and now their healer's back, forced back to spawn, so we get to hold these 2 points even longer, and I can now roam down and get the 3rd point if I want. Also top of the kill board. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm SwoleBenji. Thanks for watching. As always, be in bro, stay swole. Go ahead and try this build out before it gets nerfed in Crystal Arenas. There's technically no nerfs planned for it, but every time I release a video like this that shows how busted things are, they usually nerf it or change it, because healers are going to start crying on the forums and crying to SBI, and they'll just get nerfed. This is basically the best possible build for Crystal Arena if you're a solo player. It helps out pre-teams. Like if you solo queue, it's going to help out whoever you're with. Guys, I try to make videos every day. I have been uploading daily for almost 2 years now. I'm going to change it where I'm just going to, as soon as I make a video, it's going live, so no more daily uploads. If you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, it helps out. I read every comment. If you have any questions, let me know. Click the video on the right side of your screen. If you want to become a channel member, click join. I appreciate it. Thanks.